Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Bern. This is the war room of the political revolution. What this is a daily inspirational, motivational show that I made for all of us that are out there fighting every day in this political revolution in order to change our government into one that works for the people. Now please like and share, help get this out as far as you can, and comment, take part in the show. Any interaction in the show, whether it's smashing the like buttons or commenting and taking part in the conversation, helps us get out better in the algorithm and do better so we get out to more people. And I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for coming back to another episode of the Daily Bern. I'm your host, Sean Yankee. And remember to join this page so you can follow us and get notified whenever we go live. And today, the quote I picked out is from baseball legend Babe Ruth. It goes, "You just can't beat the person who won't give up." Now, that's a fact. Life will knock you down, and that's another fact. But if you keep getting back up and you keep fighting, you can accomplish just about anything that you set your mind to. If you want to accomplish anything in this life of any worth, you have got to work for it. And if you're willing to do that work, you can have what you want. It's all mindset, motivation, hard work, and determination that leads to success. You believe you can accomplish it, and you commit to do the work to achieve it. And then you go out and you do that work. That's how you achieve success. It takes all three steps. You can have big dreams, but if you're not willing to do the work and you don't put in the actions, you're not going to accomplish anything. But you can do the things that you want to do. We can make the changes that we want to make. We don't even have to wait. Matter of fact, don't wait. Be the change that you want to see starting right now. Because we do this. This is our job. And once enough of us understand that, and we do the work, we will begin to create the change that we want in our government and our society. We can do this. And all we have to do is all that we can. Now, I include a link in the description of every Daily Bern to BernieSanders.com. Please go there and see if there's any way that you can help out the campaign. There is almost 3 million of us volunteering to help get Bernie elected and to move this revolution forward. So see if there's something you can do. There is a lot of things that you can do to help volunteering wise in the campaign, or donate any amount, even $1. Don't think that any amount is too small. This is a completely publicly funded campaign, and it is disgustingly expensive to run for president in this country. And until we can get big money out of politics, we are up against very big money interests that are afraid of these ideas and afraid of the things that we want to do, and will do everything they can in their power to fight us. So donate if you can, but get a bumper sticker while you're there. I have been asking for probably 2 months now for people to get a bumper sticker. And the reason why is because it's just a little thing. You put a bumper sticker on your car, and then all of a sudden you are supporting the campaign just by driving around like normal. And it's little things like that that really do make a big difference. And you would be amazed. And try it out. I can't tell you how many conversations just having that bumper sticker on my car brings up, and how many opportunities it gives me to talk to people, and that's just the ones that bring it up to me and say that they noticed it. I get excited when I see a Bernie sticker. So doing little things like that really do add up. So wear your Bernie gear in public. Let people see you out there even while you're just grocery shopping. Both of those things involve minimal effort, and each one gets massive results. People react to the Bernie gear. Mostly positive, but everyone reacts. I know I love seeing a yard sign or a bumper sticker on another car myself, and it's things like that that begin a transition in your mind. People are easily influenced, you know. They also like to do what is popular, and most people don't think for themselves. They follow. So plant seeds and then watch them grow. This is a strange fight. It's not like how we're used to fighting. We've never really been in a fight like this, and we're not taught how to fight like this. And it's rigged up against us in nearly every way possible. We're set up to fail from the jump. And like I said, no one teaches us how to fight and participate effectively in a democracy. Now, they might tell you to vote, but they want you to do it uninformed because they want us weak and divided. And that's how they like us. Informed, active citizens are the worst thing for them, and their greed driven system can't survive with active, informed citizens. They need dumbed down, docile, and divided people in order to run wild with their greed. Because informed and active people make change happen. Because when we stand united and we use our voices, we win. That is a fact. And it is the way that it has always been. Um, those that are in power over us, they aren't that many. Their numbers are very few, right? They control 99% of the world's resources. They control all of the wealth. They have massive amounts of power. But you could probably fit them in this room with me right now, and we'd have room to walk around. It's a handful of people. When Bernie says the 1%, and the media likes to throw it in his face that, well, he wrote that book and now Bernie is a millionaire, so he's in the 1%. We're talking about a fraction of the 1%. It is a fraction of the 1%. Yeah, so Bernie's rich. He wrote a book. He does very well. Him and Jane have 3 houses. I hear about it all the time. So what? Um, when did success become something that you shame someone for? And his success didn't come from stepping on little people like Mitch McConnell's millions, you know. And he's nowhere near as rich as Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi. So the fact that he made a few $1 million writing a few best-selling novels and or books and having a lengthy career in the U.S. Senate where he makes a good living. And then Jane also makes a good living. You know, they're a successful couple. So I don't fault them for the successes. And as far as the house thing goes, 2 of those are their houses. And the third one, I don't even know if they still have it, but Jane inherited it right after the 2016 primary. And oh my God, I cannot tell you how many times I had to hear, and to this day still hear, that Bernie sold us out for that house. A family member of Jane's passed away and left it to Jane in the inheritance. But so Bernie's rich, and Bernie's part of the 1%. But like I said, we're talking about a fraction of the 1% is who our real enemy is. And think about how, like I'm saying, we could fit them in this room. They would fit in this room with me right now. And we'd still have room to walk around, and we could have someone walking around serving hors d'oeuvres. That many people control everything. And it's gotten that way over time. They've bought up everything. 6 corporations own all media, all of it. Everything you read, see, or take in movies, TV, news, magazines, newspapers, it's all owned by 6 corporations. You can trace it back to 6 people. All of your information. They bought it all up. Nestle owns almost all water. They want to own all water. They don't believe that it's a human right. It's crazy. And this greed is the disease that is run wild in our society. It is what is wrong with our world, is this greed-driven system that we have allowed to run wild. We have to realize that this is our responsibility, and in the end, our fault. That things had gotten this way is our fault. We fell asleep at the wheel. We let greedy psychopaths run wild and buy up our system and buy up all our politicians and write the laws in their favors. We let them do a lot of damage. And the only thing that's going to stop that, the only thing that can correct this disaster course that we're on, is for millions of people to stand united and stay vigilant. And that goes much further than electing Bernie Sanders president of the United States. This revolution is a whole lot bigger than that. You know, electing Bernie president will be a nuclear strike. It will be something that will motivate and inspire millions of people. It will increase our momentum to a level that allows us to make this change that we want to make. That's what makes this happen. Bernie doesn't make this happen. We make this happen. Activating the people makes this happen. The people becoming active in their government makes this happen. And if we don't do that, none of it happens. That's why it's important. Um, that's why it's probably the most important thing that Bernie stresses in his speeches. In each speech, he probably brings it up 5, 6 times that this is our job, not him, us. He says it a lot of different ways. I try to say it every day to make sure everyone understands it, because when enough of us do, and again, it only takes 3% of a population to have a successful revolution. So when enough of us understand that this is our job, and enough of us take responsibility and ownership of that, and are willing to put in the work, and most importantly, get back up and keep going when life knocks us down towards our goal, we will win. We cannot be stopped. It's a simple fact. You know, I'm aware of how rigged it all is. I'm aware of what we're up against. But, you know, Bernie Sanders is not lying to us. This is the way change takes place. This is the way it always has taken place. Prove me wrong. Show me something in history where the wealthy and the predator class was like, you know what? Let's give them this. It's always been the people coming and taking it. And that's what we're doing right now. It's no different. You've just been trained to believe that you're weak and that this is impossible. And the media is going to do all they can to keep reinforcing that. But we just have to do all that we can. We fight them. They're going to do what they do. They're going to rig it. The DNC is going to try everything they can to make sure that Bernie Sanders is not the nominee. The media is going to do their part. This is all going to happen. We know it. And the best part is we've seen it. We've experienced it before. So a lot of it we're going to see coming, you know. But yes, they're going to do all they can. But we have to overwhelm it at every opportunity. You understand? Every caucus, every voting opportunity, every time we get the chance to have a show of force, it needs to look like a Bernie rally. We need to overwhelm them with our numbers. That's how this happens. Otherwise, yes, they'll do all they can and they will rig it again. And as far as that goes, because I get that thrown up in my face a lot, they rigged an election in this country. Well, we allowed that, you know. And if we let that happen again, then I have no hope for us as far as any political route goes, because you know our democracy, our voting, and all of that should be something that's held dear to everyone. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, whatever you consider yourself, if you're politically active, the fact that they rigged an election in this country should deeply concern you. Because just because it wasn't your primary, it happened. And the entire media and the entire power establishment all cooperated together, and that should be frightening. But we allowed it to happen, and if we allow it to happen again, then that's our fault, isn't it? You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And, you know, a lot of people would use that logic to say, all right, well, that's why I shouldn't support Bernie. Because Bernie fooled us once. No, he didn't. Bernie never, ever, 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 not once told you he was going to save you. He has always said that this is our job. And Cardi B is right when she says that we fell short. We did. We did. And I mean us as a whole. We fell short. We didn't do enough. We did a lot. A lot of us did a lot. Some more than others. But we, as a grand group, we didn't wake enough people. We didn't get enough support. We just didn't. Because we are going to have to take this. No one's going to give it to us. We have to take it by force, which means we're going to have to overwhelm them at every opportunity. That's the only way that this happens. You know? But we have the momentum needed to win. And I want to at least be a voice telling people that, yes, you are on the right path. You know, we're doing the right thing. This is how change happens. Keep going. And when it gets hard, remind us to get back up, to keep fighting. And that's how we'll win. Not Bernie, us. We have got to understand fully that this is our fight. Bernie is a great candidate. I'm very proud of Bernie, and we're blessed that we have such a great candidate. But he is just one man, and he can't do any of this on his own. None of it. We do this. So thanks again, everyone, for coming. And if you shared, thank you so much. That helps more than you know, and this message needs to spread and get out there. So thank you. Real quick, I wanted to get into a few comments from Saturday's Daily Bern that we didn't get to during the show. All right, so Alisa was here and she asked, is there any way that she could help out with the show? Now, there is. This page that we are now coming from, the Our Revolution War Room page, I started this page a few weeks ago, and I didn't start it with the intention of moving the show here. Some of you that caught Saturday's episode know the story behind why we moved, but this is our new home, so we have to build it up. And I don't have anybody helping on the page, like contributors. So if you want to be a contributor to the Our Revolution War Room page, the page right here, please message me and get in touch with me and let me know, because I could really use the help. And what to give you an idea of what I want the page to be is a place for revolution information, like how to fight, how to grow food, sharing the truth. So it doesn't really have a political agenda, the page, more of a people-centered agenda, more of a our revolution agenda, centered around our fight, you know. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be Bernie stuff. I would even let a Trump person be a contributor to the page, because as long as you're active and you're in this fight, you know, I want you on my team. I want to run with winners, and I want to run with people that are fighting. And maybe we don't 100% agree, but as long as we agree on the big picture. So if you see what I'm saying, that's what I see the page being. So I need contributors, and if you would like to do that, message me. And that is a way that you could help out with the show and with what we're doing here. But Royce was talking about how all this is going on while our planet is literally burning up, and now it's the time to save it. The Amazon is on fire, and here comes my tinfoil hat. I should keep it, right here in the desk so I can put it on quickly, but it's kind of odd how these, the people, the tribal people in the Amazon had just won a major case blocking, you know, companies from doing a lot of devastation in their rainforest, and all of a sudden there's this massive wildfire. Now, they say there's no such thing as a coincidence. A good detective will tell you that there's no such thing as a coincidence. It's a little odd, you know, to me, anyway. But Notre Dame Cathedral was on fire. It was all over my feed, and billionaires were jumping, tripping all over each other to donate and try to do something for that. Crickets with the Amazon fires. You know, Steve was talking about how he got a call from Bernie's campaign and made another donation. I love hearing that. Anytime you donate to the Bernie campaign, I love hearing that. That inspires me. You know, like I said, because we bought our own politician. So when the hat comes around, if you can, kick in. We got to do what we can. 'Cause we're up against a lot. Have you seen these propaganda videos they're running? These fear videos selling lies about Medicare for all and trying to get people afraid of Medicare for all. We're up against a ton. So anything you can do would really help. And then let's see. Jay was here and agreed that this is our fault. It is. That's a big step, you know, in moving forward here is we need to take ownership, right? We need to realize that this is ours, right? Good and bad, all of it is ours, and it's our responsibility to fix it. We have to take ownership of it. And that includes taking responsibility of how things got to be the way they are. And they got to be the way they are because we let them run wild. We didn't pay attention, we didn't stay involved. So Jen said that Bernie or rights come with obligations. That's absolutely right. You got to defend. It's like there's a quote, and I'm going to butcher the hell out of it because I don't have it in front of me, but when they had put together the Constitution and all that, and apparently, or in the legend, rather, this woman had said to Ben Franklin, what was it? What did you create there? And he's like, it's liberty if you defend it. See, and I know I tore that up, but the basic principle is there, it's somewhere in that rubble of that ruptured quote, but you got to defend it. You got to do the work. You got to stay on them. Otherwise, you end up with, senators like Nancy Pelosi that are worth 50, $60 million on $100,000 a year salary. It makes no sense till you follow the money. And then you start realizing, oh, these things aren't impossible. They're just impossible in your system. It's impossible for you to enrich yourself and help the people. You can't do both. That was some of the comments that I thought we should get into today. Real quick, let's head over to the newsroom. I picked out a few news stories for you guys, so let's go through those real quick. The reason I picked out this first story is I want to highlight something. There are differences between Bernie and us. We have different jobs and different roles. And then also, Bernie, like, for example, at the Minnesota State Fair, he brought up David Koch having died, the Koch brother, and the audience started cheering because everybody's thrilled that this evil billionaire who devoted most of his fortune to keeping you from having things that you deserve, he devoted his life to that and said that Sanders would be elected over his dead body, died, and the crowd was cheering. And Bernie corrected them, and he said, we don't do that. So we're and what did it exactly say? He said, I don't applaud, the death of somebody. We needn't do that. He said, I think what we can say is that the Koch brothers and other billionaires, because of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, have been able to spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to represent the wealthy and powerful and the fossil fuel industry, which is where the Koch brothers made a lot of their money. They bought influence. That's what they did. That's what a lot of extremely wealthy people do. But my example there is that Bernie needs to be classier. He can't be out there. He may not even feel that way, but we can be. You see what I mean? We have different roles. A lot of times people are like, well, why did Bernie do this? Or why did Bernie do that? You see, because we have different jobs. Bernie is a politician, whereas you and I are activists and independent journalists, etc. So we have more freedom to do what we want. We can take the moral high ground. We can do what we want to do. Bernie sometimes has to do the more political thing. And this, I think, is an example of that. And his integrity in general. I mean, maybe he's just a really great person, doesn't want to applaud the death of anybody. My point being, we're different people. You know, we don't always have to be on the same path. We're in the same fight. Sometimes we go in different directions, and sometimes we have different opinions, and that's okay. This next piece that I wanted to share with you guys is from a CNN interview where they confronted Bernie about the use of tariffs. So let's play Bernie's response.
I want to start on the G7, where one of the major topics is the U.S. trade war with China. President Trump escalated his tariffs on Friday after China promised new retaliatory tariffs. You've made clear that China is treating the U.S. unfairly when it comes to trade. And I understand that you don't agree with the president's tactics or his style, but if you were president, would you use tariffs to negotiate a deal with China?
That is one tool that you have. What the president is doing is totally irrational, and it is destabilizing the entire world economy. You do not make trade policy by announcing today that you're going to raise tariffs by X percent and the next day by Y percent, by attacking the person you appointed as head of the Federal Reserve as an enemy of the American people, by denouncing the president of China, who last year you really loved as a great leader. This kind of instability and irrationality on the part of the president is causing very serious harm to the entire world economy.
I understand your criticism of that, but you say this would be a tool. Is it a tool that you would use? Would you use tariffs?
Yeah, of course. It is used in a rational way within the context of a broad, sensible trade policy. It is one tool that's available. What we need is you're looking at somebody, by the way, who helped lead the effort against permanent normal trade relations with China and NAFTA, because trade policies that we have had in the past have lost us millions of good-paying jobs, and were written primarily by large corporations at the expense of workers and farmers. We need a rational trade policy today, not what Trump is doing by tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Trump's leading by tweet is the most embarrassing thing to me, as far as what our president, what having a reality TV star as president, as far as the embarrassing elements of that. I think the most embarrassing element is the fact that he tweets so much. I saw a statistic that in Obama's whole presidency, Obama had sent something like, I don't know, I don't remember off the top of my head, but under 1,000 tweets, and Trump is like 3 or 4 times past that already. He's ridiculous. But this next piece that we're going to end on, I decided to include in the news. Usually this would be brought up during Bernie events, which we'll get to briefly here in a second. But this is a big deal to me because I could drive to this one, and I want to. I don't know what my schedule is or what my savings account looks like, but Bernie's going to be speaking in Louisville, Kentucky on Sunday. And it says a release from the Sanders campaign states the senator expected to speak out against Senator Mitch McConnell's obstruction in the U.S. Senate. Gathering voters from across the state, Sanders will pressure McConnell to take up bills passed in the U.S. House to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, stop gun violence, and secure our elections. Sunday's appearance is Sanders' first visit to Kentucky since launching his presidential election campaign. And like I said, that one's driving distance for me, so I'm excited about that. So Bernie's going to be in Louisville on Sunday. If you want to stay informed with what's going on with the Bernie Sanders campaign, watch this show every day or text Bernie to 67760, and that will enroll you in the texting program. And volunteers like me will send out texts to you whenever there's a relevant event in your area or any news involving the revolution that pertains to you. Keep you informed that way, or get the Bern app. And you can get that anywhere you get a phone app. And that allows you to do a lot of other cool stuff like record a My Bernie story, which is neat. That's where you record a short video and then you can share that out to your social media on why you support Bernie Sanders. And those are really cool and tend to trend on Twitter every time they have a big drop of those. So those are neat. But that's what's going on with the campaign right now. And we've come to the end of another episode of the Daily Bern. Thank you guys so much for coming and participating and hanging out. It really excites me that even being in a new home and coming from a new page, we had a really good turnout on Saturday for the first day here. That was nice because I really expected it to be hardly anyone here. Because, like I said, this is a brand new page and there's only 30 followers to the page. So, if you want to join the page, please do. And if you would like to be a contributor, like I said, let me know. Get in touch with me. And I could use people that would like to just share stuff to the page, do stuff like that, or maybe be an admin, just help me kick out trolls and monitor content on the page, things like that. If you want to do something like that, get in touch with me and let me know, and I'd really appreciate that. But thank you guys so much for everything you do in this revolution and all that you do in this fight, and your support for this show. I really appreciate that, and we're going to win. We are. And like I was talking about Saturday, I'm going to cut out all the negativity, and I'm going to try to get rid of as many negative people and these quitters as I can from my circle. And I'm just going to run with winners from now on. I want to think like a winner. You don't go into a fight planning to lose and expect to win. That's crazy. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to put in the work and keep getting up and refuse to lose. That's the way you win. So you don't win crying and whining about how hard it is and how rigged it is and how challenging it is. You win by getting out there and overcoming those obstacles, and fighting through it and pushing forward until you accomplish what you set out to accomplish. That's how you win. That's how you accomplish things. And that's what we're doing. So I'm going to instead focus on that, focus on the positives, focus on the fact that we are doing this and we are winning and we have the momentum needed to win. We just keep going, keep doing all we can, and we're going to do it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and I will see you again tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Bern. Keep rocking, keep fighting. See you tomorrow.